I wanted to have a conversation about Young Miami Spend That alongside Boots Riley's newest project, I Love Boosters, and how both of these projects are not only recession indicators, but are also emblematic of a larger shift. I've been getting really sick, so I want to just do a little quick video. I want to go ahead and do a little brainstorm with everybody about a thought that I've been thinking in regards to I Love Boosters as well as Young Miami's song, Spend That. And one of the things that I've been thinking about this specific song is the fact that it's not only a recession indicator, but it's also emblematic of like the drastic shift that has happened when it comes to how people perceive, boosting the wealth gap in corporations. And maybe it's not that deep, right? Maybe it's not that deep. But I do genuinely think that there's been a seismic shift in how people look at wealth inequality in America, even compared to like 2 years ago. The creation of something like I Love Boosters and it managing to gain as much attention as it has, as well as a song like Spend That gaining so much traction, and how we view people taking back from those corporations. So before I start this video, I have to put out like my whole FBI disclaimer. Disclaimer, I am not encouraging any illegal activities in this video. I am instead just examining how boosting has become normalized in a society where we have trillionaires like Elon Musk. Now, both Spend That as well as the movie I Love Boosters focuses on boosting. The general term for boosting is to steal or to take something. And in this video, we're going to be primarily talking about boosters, which are, individuals that go into department stores and then they take from those corporations and then they sell the products at a like cheaper rate to other people. Boosting is illegal. I want to emphasize that. Boosting is illegal. You should not do that. It is a crime. It's an actual crime. And even I think at this point, people would still consider it a social taboo. But I want to go ahead and brainstorm about this thought that I've had about how both I Love Boosters as well as Spend That by Young Miami address the issue of boosting and how that ties into the larger social dynamic that we currently see in the big O USA. So if you're watching this video, you're most likely aware of Spend That by Young Miami and how it's become a viral hit. But just in case you are unaware, Spend That is a song by former city girl Young Miami, or better known as Carisha. Carisha dropped the song roughly like 2 months ago, and it's become a viral hit on TikTok. The song in totality is very much similar to all the other songs that Carisha has made. If you're unaware of who Young Miami is, she makes a lot of music that is centered around her experience as a young Black woman growing up in Florida and some of the things that she and her friends had to do to survive. And in the song, she talks about boosting specifically. And one of the main parts of the song, which is like the catchy part of the song, which is the hook, is where all my scammy niggas at, spending that money fast, 20, 50s, hundreds cash. Boy, go in that go-yard bag, boosting bitches where y'all at, stuffing that shit in y'all bag just to flip it, pop some tags. Hustlers, girl, go in that go-yard bag. Because I think this song, specifically Spend That, gaining so much attention at this moment, and one of the like main figures of it being a dance where people are actively like mimicking the act of boosting, it kind of really enough is a recession indicator. The lyrics of the song are talking about boosting, they're talking about scamming, and this is a song that has managed to gain so much viral traction on TikTok. One of the things that I've noticed with Young Miami's song is that it doesn't only make me want to like throw my ass in a circle. It also may be a song that is emblematic of whatever, Gilded Age era that we're in. Now, the reason why I want to specifically talk about the movie Boosters, which is a movie about multiple boosters, the movie is supposed to be very much a whimsical take on the current structures that we exist under in society. The hyper commercialization of art, the very much toxic work environment that a lot of us exist underneath, the toxicity that exists within fashion, the fact that these corporations are using cheap human labor but then jacking up prices for us while actively stealing art and designs from Black artists to sell cheaper versions of those to us. There's a character in I Love Boosters that is literally selling a pyramid scheme. Then on top of it, you also have a factory worker who is basically slaving their way through their job in order to mass produce for these corporations. And they take these pieces that they have stolen from other smaller creators, jack up those prices, and then sell that back to us at a higher amount. I emphasize that this is a recession indicator because, I am very much aware that a lot of people do not consume the news. But I do think we can all feel that things have gotten really, really expensive, that everything just feels more expensive. Rent is going up, food cost is going up, gas prices are crazy. And it's leading to an even further increase of the wealth disparity in America. We're on the brink of a recession, if not a depression. And the president of the United States is more focused on a UFC fight on the White House lawn. That type of discontent against the system and apathy towards the institutions is what leads to people rethinking these structures. A song like Spend That, as well as a movie like I Love Boosters, spend that to a lesser extent. The entirety of the song is not focused on boosting culture, but the chorus and the hook and the dance is centered around that specific act. One of the main reasons why I argue that the term boosting and Spend That and I Love Boosters are indicative of a recession is because people are now starting to re-examine some of these structural inequalities. Why is there more social stigma around boosting than there is around billionaires stealing from the government? We have, I think, roughly upwards of 900 billionaires in America. And mind you, this is a country that's supposed to be considered a superpower. So that means that most people in America cannot afford their rent, cannot afford their food, cannot afford their basic needs. We also have a trillionaire. A trillionaire who, due to his USAID cuts, may be responsible of upwards to 4.6 million people's lives being drastically impacted. So having a movie like I Love Boosters gaining traction, and then on top of it, having a song like Spend That gaining traction as well, but it having lyrics in the song that are actively talking about the process of scamming, that are actively talking about boosting and taking back from the corporations. And the fact that we're not having articles being written up and down about how problematic this is goes to show how people overall have accepted and do understand how these corporations have taken from us. We live in a world where Elon Musk gets to be a trillionaire, where these data centers are taking over, taking our neighborhoods. And you have a movie like I Love Boosters which literally centers these characters going into different department stores, going into different corporations, into different stores, and stealing the clothes to resell it for a cheaper price. You have Young Miami, who grew up in Apalaca, Florida, and started making music at the age of 17 and having to pull herself up by the bootstraps. And she herself is somebody that was literally dating a predatory billionaire, right? So she's not a socialist, but the thing that you see overlap between her and Boots Riley is this notion of boosting, which was like a social taboo. It's still a social taboo. Yeah, like it's still bad. You will still get arrested for it. Don't do it. But it's like something that is more understandable because of how bad inequality has gotten and because of how greedy these corporations have gotten. So even as woke as we were in Woke 1.0, a lot of people would have did some pearl clutching. They would have been like, why is there music about scamming and boosting? The average person would have pushed back on a movie like I Love Boosters being made. But because of how bad wealth inequality has gotten in America, because people can't afford shit, because a lot of us can't even afford shit, even some of our favorite musicians, they are unable to afford shit. Like I've been watching like these World Cup videos, impeccable videos. And I've been seeing like a lot of Europeans come to America and they're like, everything's so cheap. And it's like, girl, no, that shit is not cheap. It is actually very expensive for the people living here, even though it may be cheaper than your country. We're dealing with inflation. This shit keeps going up, right? People cannot afford anything. And it puts people in very weary predicaments. And I just think that a lot of Americans, throwing their hip out to a song about boosting, and one of the most discussed movies of this year being I Love Boosters, is emblematic of a seismic shift that is happening on the ground. And also, if you look at American politics overall, I don't know if y'all just saw what happened in New York, but that itself is also emblematic of this social change, where affordability is now the center of conversations. So you're not only seeing it in American politics, you're also seeing it with pop culture. You're seeing it with Spend That. And you're also seeing that with the conversations around I Love Boosters. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Maybe it's not that deep. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and share that. Also, I'm thinking about making a longer video on the City Girls and their transformation over some time, as well as Spend That and the reemergence of Young Miami. So if you're interested in me talking a little bit more about that, similar to what I've did with like Nicki Minaj and Lotto and other hip hop figures, please let me know and I'll go ahead and start editing that video. But it's gonna take some time because I have other videos coming out. But just let me know if you guys are interested in that. So thank you so much and good luck, America.